From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Heads Meats and Grocery is much more than a grocery store. We carry a full line of quality meats, local and organic vegetables, and a large variety of fish, Green Mountain Smart Control pellet grills, and a full deli case of sandwiches and side dishes.
Happy Friday to you all. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Krueger. Thank you so much for joining me here for your Friday edition of your morning update here. We are still looking at some fires out there, but things are starting to quiet down out there. Yes, we've still got some active fires. We're going to start with Trinity County with the Miller fire, seeing about 30 acres and 10% containment. This is as of about 12 hours ago since this morning here. You can also see the other fire that we've been talking about pretty much all week long and was the main concern here earlier this week, now at 98% containment at about 47 acres, and that was as of 5:52 yesterday afternoon or yesterday evening. We've got the Canadian fire, really no update since it started. So it started at 0.06 acres, and you've got the Denny fire at just under an acre there at 25% containment as of about 12 hours ago. Remember the Grove fire yesterday morning, that pretty quickly in the morning hours was reported at 100% containment here, and so that is obviously some very good news. Otherwise, we take you up into Siskiyou County, where we've got the Table Rock fire, 99 acres at 70% containment as of yesterday evening at about 6 o'clock, and we take you out to Modoc County, northeastern Modoc County. There you can see this is the Willow fire at 17.5 acres at 60% containment. So we are seeing some improvement there. And the Pine fire, as reported yesterday too, at 100% containment. We zoom out here, we're really not seeing any fires of concern, if any, really, out towards Lassen, Plumas County, or even into the eastern Shasta, Tehama, or even Butte counties. But obviously, that's kind of the latest going on with that. Do want to remind you that I have created a resource on weathernorcal.com, and you go to the fire dangers section. You just scroll down a little bit on the main page here. It's a one-stop shop for you where you can get the latest on the current fires and any other fires in the area. Also, you can get the latest fire weather information as well, so be sure to check that out. Hey, I want to remind you there is a free event I want to tell you about here. It's the Shred Fraud event. It is Saturday, June 28th. We've got PSA2, High Cap, and Medicare Patrol are teaming up to help you fight fraud. Any mail that you have can sometimes have sensitive vegetation. You may not need it, so you throw it away. Thieves can get to that information and steal your identity. So there's an open and shred your mail you don't need. Medicare statements, sensitive documents, old bills, the works. It's a free drive-through event. So be sure to put that in your calendars for Saturday, June 28th. All right, let's go and take a look at our weather headlines. And we're going to start off with the fact that the weekend, and really overall, it's just not going to be as hot going into the weekend. And really, even for today, temperatures only reaching somewhere most likely in the upper 80s to low 90s in the valley. Now it's warming back up a little bit here by the second half of the weekend and into early next week, but then cooling off again. So a bit of a roller coaster ride, if you will, with those temperatures, but I don't expect any big heat waves heading your way anytime soon here as we take you really through the next 7 to even 10 days, really. Here's a look at your Friday, June 13th, Krueger's Quick Cast, Friday the 13th. Is it a superstitious day? I never really considered it to be, but some people do. All right, temperatures are going to be mainly in the 50s here for most of the higher elevations in the coast here at 8 o'clock this morning, probably in the upper 60s with mainly sunny skies for the valley. That fire weather watch has been upgraded to a red flag warning yesterday, but it's going to expire at 11 o'clock tonight. That's mainly for extreme eastern Modoc County and Lassen counties, but there's still going to be some moderate to high fire danger elsewhere. Let's take a look at the winds here to kind of give you an idea. There it is. The winds are certainly supporting that with that forecast. Gusts possibly over 20-25 miles per hour. And by the way, some pretty strong winds here even for the north and west side of the valley. And even though we're not concerned about fires along the immediate coast, you are going to see some pretty gusty winds around the Crescent City area. The winds should die down by tonight though and into tomorrow morning and maybe rematerialize by the afternoon on Saturday, but probably won't be as bad. So we still have the series of storms riding to our north over the Pacific Northwest. That's where most of the cooler air is going to be, but those colder storm systems are what are really pretty much keeping our temperatures at bay, including today where we've got temperatures struggling to get out of the 80s for most of us in the valley. I mean, we'll certainly take that. Temperatures in the 70s and 80s for the higher elevations, and we've got those upper 50s to even some low 60s out along the coast here. Let's take a look at your 7-day forecast for the valley. So again, you've got that roller coaster ride. Temperatures is kind of hovering around the low 90s here for today through Monday, and then it kind of warms back up by around Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. All right, let's take a look at your coast. Temperatures there should generally be in the upper 50s to low 60s, up and down with those temperatures inland and for Trinity County. And taking a look at Siskiyou, Modoc County, Eastern Mountains, notice no rain, although we did see a few sprinkles and a light shower here or there for parts of Siskiyou and northwestern Modoc County yesterday. Not terribly surprised by that. That could happen again here for today, Saturday, and possibly even into your Sunday as well. All right, that's a look at your Krueger's Quickcast. Stick around for a deeper dive forecast if you want more details for your forecast. But I want to mention that you can get a quick look at your forecast from the free Weather NorCal app. Just search for Weather NorCal in your app store, and you will be good to go, and you'll have everything you need there, right there on your phone. Here's a look at your fire weather forecast here. We're going to start off with those winds again. And as mentioned, those winds are picking up this afternoon for the coast, northwestern portions of the valley. We've also got some gusty winds off into the eastern mountains as well. But those winds will subside for tonight and tomorrow morning. They'll pick back up again Saturday afternoon, but notice not that bad coming in from the south for the valley. And that's what we want. We want more of a south wind than a north wind. South winds tend to cool things off a little bit typically, especially if we have a nice marine layer along the coast that can really enhance that delta breeze. And otherwise you see a little breezy, if you will, off towards the eastern mountains, and a little breezy out along the coast as well. This is only to take you to about noon on Sunday, but you get the idea. No major wind events heading your way anytime soon, and that's going to have an impact for the better with our fire weather risk here over the next few days. The yellows are indicating that you are looking at that low to moderate fire weather risk. And what that essentially means is that, we've still got to be on high alert always this time of the year. And that's pretty typical for us to see the moderate to even sometimes high through this time of the year. It's when we start getting into the reds, purples, that we've really got to start paying attention to things. But notice, look what we're seeing here for Saturday afternoon. Very dry conditions. These numbers are humidity levels, and they'll be down into the single digits here for your Saturday afternoon. Again, only taking you through midday Sunday. These numbers will probably drop at the very least into the low to mid-teens, which is still very dry. So once again, we still have the storm systems riding to our north. There's more coming in from the west. What that's essentially doing is just really preventing any heat from building in anywhere from the south, whether it's the south and west or even the big ridge of high pressure over the Four Corners region. It's having a hard time building in because these storm systems continue to ride through the Pacific Northwest, keeping our temperatures at bay. But overall, we're expecting mainly dry conditions here. Let's take a look at Futurecast. This afternoon, we'll see some of those afternoon clouds developing. Could we see a stray sprinkle or light shower embedded in any of these clouds? It's not out of the question. It'll be much like it was yesterday. Now, we are seeing some clearing for parts of the coast here off and on over the next several days, even through the afternoon hours on Saturday. Once again, Saturday, you see that? The clouds are developing. We could see a stray sprinkle or a light shower. And by the way, you'll notice there are a few more clouds entering the picture here. We'll call it mainly just some high clouds filtering through on Saturday. That should help to keep our temperatures at bay as well. And then for your Sunday, just taking you through midday, still some of those high clouds out there. But look at the coast. We're not seeing a lot of fog out there, especially towards northern Humboldt and Del Norte County, but around Humboldt Bay, maybe some of that fog kind of sticking around here through at least midday on Sunday. There's a look at that cooler air to our north. That will start to migrate to the north of us by the time we do go into the second half of the weekend. So it warms up a little bit as a result, but nothing major. So you see two main areas of high pressure, one off to over the Four Corners region and one way to our south and west. That's going to stay put over the Four Corners region. This one is going to be moving eastward, and typically when it does that, it would build into our region and we'd be looking at very hot temperatures. But thanks to this storm system here riding through the Pacific Northwest through next week and really getting toward the end of next week, is going to help to drop our temperatures down even more. So that high pressure begins to basically weaken and fizzle out, but there's another one building in behind that. We'll watch that, but for now, I just don't see anything major developing as far as heat is concerned over the next 10 days plus. Temperature outlook for the next 10 days, you can see we're kind of in that cool to normal, even warmer. So, we're not looking at temperatures dropping to where it's cool outside, where you need a jacket. It's that time of the year, right? But we're not going to be in the triple digits, and we're not going to be anywhere near it, especially going through the weekend and early next week. Now, yes, we may see a little spike here by the middle of next week, temperatures around 100 degrees, but then they drop again going towards the end of next week into that next weekend. Still looking at very healthy lake levels. We are down to about 89% now for Lake Shasta. Haven't been below 90 for quite a while, so we're at 89% there. 93% for Trinity Lake, and still about 99% full capacity there for Lake Oroville. Those wave heights, as you can see here for today, not that much of a concern here. They are increasing a little bit here over the next 12 to 24 hours. As a result, the National Weather Service has issued a small correct advisory through Saturday night. We do have those winds coming out of the north at 15 to 20 knots, and those waves from the northwest at 8 feet in about 7 seconds. All right, here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Your temperatures are generally going to be in the 80s. Now, it is a little bit cooler down to the south with 74 degrees for Ruth, and even better out towards Mad River with a high of about 67 degrees. But notice no rain, no thunderstorms are in the forecast here. Partly to mostly cloudy skies for the coast, with temperatures averaging out around 60 for that daytime high for the next 7 days. And for the inland areas, temperatures kind of going up and down a bit here, but generally in the mid 80s, give or take, after today. Let's take you to Siskiyou County, where we've got temperatures there mainly in the 70s, although Happy Camp, one of the warmer spots, at about 84 degrees, 75 degrees for Weed, and 72 degrees for McDowell. Out towards Modoc County, you got temperatures in the mid 70s, mainly sunny skies, back in the low 80s here over the weekend. Eastern Mountains also seeing that slight increase with mid 80s for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, warming back up in the low to even some mid 90s by Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Let's take a look at your Valley neighborhood forecast to the south. Look at these temperatures, very nice here for today. Temperature of 88 degrees for Los Molinos, 87 degrees in Durham. Your 7-day forecast for Chico, yeah, it's warming up a bit here. Not too bad for your Father's Day with a high of about 90 degrees. Temperatures back in the mid to upper 90s by Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Take you up to the north, and again, some of us may touch that 90-degree mark, especially up to the north, but otherwise mainly upper 80s for your daytime highs today. Whiskey Town 83, as well as Lakehead and Red Bluff, a high of about 89 degrees. Let's take a look at your 7-day forecast for Redding. Temperatures in the low 90s through at least Monday. It's not until Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday we'll kind of warm back up to the upper 90s to about 100 degrees. That's your morning update. I'll be back again at noon for your latest forecast. Have a great morning.
Barr & Mudford is a top established firm here in the North State. Founded over a half-century ago, Barr & Mudford is protecting the rights of our neighbors and community. We take our commitment to our clients very seriously and provide a level of excellence unrivaled in the North State. Barr & Mudford, standing up for the rights of our neighbors and our beautiful community, serving Northern California with excellence.